Mm. Yeah, I'm sure it's recording now. Yeah, it is. So how have you been?
We have been okay despite the COVID.
Yeah.
The business is still assuming. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for honoring my invite to join. And I really appreciate, I know you're very busy, so I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're
Yeah, so
welcome.
maybe before we begin our discussion, this is something for my viewers. I just want to thank them for subscribing and sharing my content. So, like I mentioned to you, Peter, this YouTube channel is more on promoting sustainability because I'm very passionate on issues to do with sustainability. I've worked with you before, and this is something I'm always passionate about. So I'm really excited to have this conversation, and I really thank you for honoring the invite. So basically, today's discussion will talk about the hydroponics. I know you are a guru when it comes to hydroponics technology, and you're an expert in this. So I thought it's prudent or rather rational for my viewers to be able to learn a lot on issues to do with hydroponics. There are some people who are interested in issues to do with agribusiness, and I thought this would be a perfect discussion for them, where they'll be able to learn a lot on matters to do with hydroponics technology. And so today we'll talk more on the truths, the myths. There are a lot of myths with regards to hydroponics technology. So maybe you'll be able to clarify on those issues. And as I mentioned before, we've worked before, and through that, I came up with a report, and it is published. It is published and available online. That was impact evaluation of hydroponics technology in Kenya, and I will share it in the description for the viewers, maybe to read the report and learn a lot as well. So, without further ado, I'd like to give you the floor. You introduce yourself and tell us about your affiliation. I know you're in Hydroponics Africa, but tell my viewers what Hydroponics Africa does and who Peter really is.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brenda.
Yeah.
My name is Dr. Peter Chege. I'm the CEO of Hydroponics Africa Limited.
Yeah.
Hydroponics Africa Limited offer farmers a cost-effective method of growing crops without soil. We have simplified hydroponics to work at the African context by using local materials, at the same time trying to use as less inputs as possible, like water, nutrients, space, as well as now the materials that we use for growing.
Okay, thank you very much. So basically hydroponics technology is the soilless, growing without the use of soil, right? In simple terms, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Hydroponics is growing crops without soil. And instead of soil, we use media, like you can use water, or you can use inert media, like media which will not react to the fertilizer. The beauty about that, you'll be able to grow crops vertically. At the same time, you'll be able to recycle water and the nutrients. Unlike when in the soil that the water goes leach and also the nutrients leach and goes away to water bodies. So we are able to recycle all these resources and use until they are perished. By doing that, we'll be able now to use less resources.
Okay, that's good to know. So basically, we can jump straight to how sustainable is hydroponics technology. You've started to mention about some benefits when it comes to hydroponics technology as compared to soil farming. So maybe if you can go further and tell us elaborate the benefits of hydroponics technology vis-a-vis the conventional soil farming.
Yes, looking at the challenges that we have in conventional method of farming, that is water. You have also challenge on the soil because of the soil-borne diseases. You also have a challenge of, in terms of water, is because most conventional farmers use rain-fed agriculture. And also, they use a lot of energy for irrigation, the ones who do irrigation. And also now the other advantage, the other, if you look at the conventional methods of farming, you can only do horizontal way. So you require a lot of land to do that. So in hydroponics, we use 80% less water. At the same time, less nutrients, because you are able to recycle water, the nutrients. At the same time, you can grow up to 11 times more crops per meter square. Because like for leafy vegetables, you can grow vertically. We have designed a system which can even go up to 20 meters. Although our systems are modular, it can be even 2 meters, 3 meters, a maximum of 20 meters. So for 20 meters, we'll be able to grow 11 times more crops. At the same time, you don't have soil-borne diseases like nematodes and bacteria weeds. Most people who grow crops like tomatoes and capsicum, in conventional method of farming, they just grow one season or two to three seasons. And then after that, when the soil get affected by bacteria weeds, they cannot use that soil again. But for hydroponics, you'll be able to grow throughout the year in many seasons as you like, because there's no soil to harbor those pathogens. And so the other advantage is now you can be able to grow throughout the year in our hydroponic systems, because it does not depend on rain-fed agriculture. So you can grow what the market needs. And you cannot be able to use those farms that grow in where the food is consumed, like in urban areas, because use very small space. You can grow vertically. You can grow on rooftops of the buildings. You can grow on frustrated walls of the building, of the factories, schools, fences of schools. So it has a lot of applications and where you can be able to farm and be able to produce food where it is consumed.
Okay, good to know. Those are very many advantages. Issues to do with water. There are a lot of challenges in water. In Africa, I'd say that we have water deficiency when it comes to agriculture. Water is a limiting factor when it comes to agricultural production. So you're mentioning that with hydroponics, you're able to save up to 80%. And this is something that there's some experiments that you've done to confirm this, right?
Yeah, of course, we have been able to install over 6,000 hydroponic systems across countries. Recently, we are in Djibouti, where actually they don't have soil.
In Djibouti?
In Djibouti. And we are about to also another pilot for hydroponics. We have done in North Darfur, whereby we have installed the units to people, IDPs, as internally displaced people. And that place is very hot, but with our simplified hydroponic systems, we have been able to bring down the temperature by 15 degrees, and they are now able to grow leafy vegetables where they have never done that in that region. Wow. So it has really helped in that.
Wow, that is very, very impressive. Yeah. So also you mentioned to do with things to do with pests and diseases. So this means that the cost of production also goes down because you don't end up using pesticides and so forth.
Yes, of course, especially the soil-borne diseases, that is bacteria with nematodes, which has been a big problem with people who grow crops like tomatoes and capsicum. Because in hydroponics, we are not using soil, we don't get those diseases. And also the pests are minimized because the crops growing at the hydroponics, because we are able to give the actual amount of water, nutrients, and aeration they require, they are very strong. And because they are very strong, they are not attacked by most of the pests, because pests usually attack the crops which are weak. So you find you have less incidence of pest, and also that we don't have diseases, soil-borne diseases.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what a farmer needs is the system itself, and of course now the nutrients.
Yeah, once we do the installation, and I've said that we use the local materials to any country we go. We try first of all to feasibility study so that at least we bring the cost down as much as possible. Once we do that, the only learning cost or consumables will be the seedlings and the nutrients. We have formulated hydroponics nutrients, and we sell the nutrients, and also where for the countries that we go, we also source for the raw materials that make the hydroponics nutrients.
Okay. And for the nutrients, they just need to get it directly from you? Or do you have like distribution centers?
Yes, in Kenya, you have now 5 distribution centers where the farmers can go and purchase the nutrients. We choose the distribution centers based on the number of farmers that we get in that region. In other countries, we have maybe other 3 countries, that's Rwanda, Sudan. Now, recently, we want to go to Djibouti, we'll be having just 1 distribution center. Then the farmers can be buying from there.
Okay, that's really nice. And also, yes, to just echo on matters to do with sustainability, you mentioned that with hydroponics, with regards to per unit area, you're able to get more yields, crop yields, as compared to the conventional soil farming. So this means that if the farmers are to engage in, commercialization, their household income is improved as compared to the soil farming. Or what would you say about that?
Yes, of course. Looking at the advantages of one, the resources that they use, like water, very minimal water, nutrients is less than the conventional method of farming, and also the yield, the seasons per year increases because we just plant. Once you harvest, you plant immediately. Unlike in the conventional method, you have to continue. You have to prepare for the field.
Okay.
Because of the space required, because now the land is becoming very expensive.
Very scarce.
Yeah, very scarce. But now, if you can be able to grow 11 times in a meter square, then you really reduce in terms of the cost of the land. And if you do that, you also reduce in terms of the labor involvement. Well, because our hydroponics, imagine now steering land of about 11 acres.
That's
compared to just one acre if you do in a vertical hydroponics in 1 acre. Our systems are designed in such a way that the water stays in the system as it goes up by osmosis, meaning that even the energy, the very minimal energy for irrigation. So we are reducing energy consumption for our systems as well as the water consumption. So it becomes very much cost effective and sustainable.
Okay, that is very nice. So if the farmers are able to reduce on the cost of production, that is really something very helpful for the farmers, because cost of production has always been a limiting factor. The labor days and the labor hours to pay the wages. When it comes to the energy, when it comes to the irrigation, you consume a lot of energy. But if you're able to counter this through hydroponics, then this is likely to empower the farmers, and ensure that there is sustainability when it's come to agricultural production. Okay, that's very helpful for my viewers to be able to learn about the hydroponics technology. Maybe if we can just jump to some another topic. There's some myths surrounding hydroponics technology. It's a fairly new innovation to most of the people, but also some people have come up with some myths that it is related to GMOs. I don't know how true that is. Maybe if you can clear it for my viewers to be able to understand it.
Yes, of course. When we started in 2013, I did it as an experiment because I saw this technology in Western countries.
Okay.
Even me, I was researching. I was asking how the crops can grow without soil. Is it
exactly
safe? After doing a lot of research, I realized that the crops does not consume soil. They take the nutrients from the soil. So if you can remove soil and give the crops the nutrients they require, it can give them organic nutrients. They will grow faster and better because you'll be able to give the actual amount of the nutrients they require at the same time water. So in hydroponics, we are not using bad chemicals. We just try to give the crops what it requires. That is water, nutrients, and also aeration, because the water moves with the air. At the edge, the crops grow very fast. So when we started, we are showing farmers that the fodder can grow within 7 days, and they started questioning about
asking
this.
questions.
Yeah, because normally it will take 12 weeks to reach that height.
Yeah.
But we started training them on basics of agriculture and how the hydroponics is. Like now the hanging gardens of Babylon. So hydroponics started very, very long ago. And then after that, they started now appreciating that hydroponics actually is not it's not a GMO, because we use the same seed that the conventional method of farming use. So yeah, it's only that we remove soil and then we put the nutrients which is organic.
Okay, so my viewers were able to it is clear now that hydroponics is very, very safe. So it is a very safe technology. So there's no issues to do with the GMOs, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, maybe for my viewers to also learn the main crops, or rather the value chains that are mostly or likely to do well with hydroponics technology, are just vegetables, or are there any other crops that are suitable for hydroponics technology?
Yes, we have designed several systems. We have 5 simplified hydroponic systems based on the climate, based on the crop, and also based on the user. The reason we did that is because we have worked with several development partners, and most of them, they want to have hydroponics as a nutrition.
Okay.
Be able to help in terms of nutrition. So you have developed a system which can grow leafy vegetables, including tomatoes, capsicum, can grow tubers, also can grow citrus trees, and also fruits, as well as the fruits like a strawberry. So we can be able to grow variety of the crops. What we cannot grow in hydroponics maybe is big trees, or sometimes we have a challenge with some of the tubers, but we can grow a variety of root tubers. We can also be able to grow legumes in the hydroponics quite comfortably.
Okay, that's quite a range of value chains that are able to do well with hydroponics technology. I don't know if it is always smooth when it comes to hydroponics. You've told us about the advantages, or rather the benefits that we earn from hydroponics technology. Do you ever experience some challenges when it comes to hydroponics technology? Are there challenges surrounding this innovation?
Yes, the first challenge that we had after designing the system, one thing we had not gone to the farmers and asked them what they need. So we had to go back and redesign again. But having done that, then we had a challenge of the one you have asked about now, whether hydroponics is safe or not. And to solve that, we have actually developed training modules for both certificate and diploma courses, whereby now we'll be able to train farmers, we'll be able to send them the training materials, so that at least to understand the hydroponics, and as well as on how to run hydroponic systems. Because what can go wrong is a long use of the hydroponic system. And as much as it's very good advantages, if you don't mix the nutrients well, you can burn your crops. If you don't water as required, then the crops will not do well. If you not change the water as required, then you have a problem. And most of the farmers, especially urban farmers at the youth, they have not even done farming. So this is their first time. So unless now they're educated and get crop support, then that's where they can go along.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned about the water and how to mix the nutrients and so forth. So is there a specific type of source of water that is needed when it comes to hydroponics technology? Is it like the piped water only, maybe the borehole, or any other source of water? Do you have the specific source of water that is required when it comes to hydroponics technology?
Yes, of course, it will work at a certain quality of water, but what we've done, especially now, because we have worked a lot in northern Kenya, and we found that the water is saline, we do the soil water analysis, and we are able to counter check that if it has high pH or low pH, to be able to do that with our hydroponics nutrients. So where we are suspicious that the water is not good for hydroponics, then what we do, we'll be able to change that by raising or reducing the pH, or by changing our formulation for hydroponics nutrients. For what we usually say, for if you can drink it, then it's good for hydroponics. If you can't drink it, then it's not good. And that one we usually do try to help. It's very few incidents where we have seen that the salinity is very high for water. The hydroponics will not be able to do well.
Okay, that really answers it. So how's the level of adoption when it comes to Kenya? I know you work also beyond Kenya. You're now in East Africa. I've also heard that now you are in Djibouti. That is really nice. So how's the level of adoption of hydroponics technology? Let's say in Kenya, how are farmers embracing this technology?
Yeah, we have two segments. About this segment, we have the low of the pyramid, whom actually these farmers mostly are financed by our development partners. That is people living in slums, refugees, or internally displaced people. Those ones are very much willing to have the hydroponic system, mostly for the for consumption, for household consumption of food. That one they are willing, but they are not able to buy the hydroponic system. We have other small scale farmers who are able to purchase the hydroponic system, and they actually doing very well. They purchase the systems, and then we try as much as possible to connect them to the market, so that at least they can have a market for sale of the fresh produce. Some of them comes to a farm with already they already have the market, so it's easier for them now to once now they start hydroponics and you get more benefits than what they used to get.
Okay, and of course you also have the large scale farmers, not only the small scale farmers, also the large scale farmers.
Yes, of course, we have for large scale farmers who are starting from 2 acres. 2 acres is up to 10 acres. Some are doing for fodder for livestock, others for other food, like even tomatoes. So those farmers, they have established their own market, so they just purchase the system. And then for those large scale farmers, we support them. We usually get about 2 to 3% from the yield of the crop. So after doing the installation, we also do the crop support, so that at least we make sure that they get the back the investment.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that you're saying that you link the farmers to the market. So after the small scale farmers have come up with their produce, you're able to link them to the market, so they don't end up being disparate they're not disparate for the market. So you're able to link them to the market.
Yes, of course, because we realize for the hydroponics to be uptaken by many farmers, we realize that we need to help them by going at the pitch to buyers of the fresh produce. So we have contracts. We have about 3 contracts, signed contracts, and 2 non-official contracts of buyers of the farm fresh produce. So once we install the unit to the farmer, we link them to the market, and then we make sure that the quality is good, so that at least we continue buying the same.
Okay, that's very, very good to know. So maybe a crucial question for my viewers, and I'm sure they would love to know, how much does it take to own a hydroponics system? So I'm sure quite a lot of people are interested with this innovation, having I thought that this technology do not require a lot of space, and most of the people maybe are in the urban centers and they have a very small piece of land. Maybe they have their small balcony. So if they want to be involved in hydroponics technology, how much should they be able to spare when it comes to this innovation?
Yeah, our systems are modular based. We have different systems based on the size of the investment. We start with that's 10,000 Kenya shillings. That's $1,000. Yeah,
I didn't get that.
10,000 Kenya shillings.
Okay, 10,000.
Yeah, that's That's a unit which can feed 5 to 6 members of the family, and they are able also to sell the surplus. So
Wow.
for commercial, it starts with $2,400. That unit has 500 plants for tomatoes,
Okay.
which each one, after 1 year, it can be able to produce around 5 tons.
Wow.
So 5 tons, and an average price for tomato is around 50 Kenya shillings. So they get around 2,500. So the first season, that is 1 year, they are able to almost recoup the cost of the initial installation of the unit.
Okay. So you can have your hydroponic system for as low as 10,000 shillings, Kenya shillings, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure my viewers will be interested in this technology. So if they want to reach you and reach your company, how should they reach you?
I'll give you the website. Our website is www.hydroponicsafrica.org. Our phone contact is +254 95.
I didn't get that, but I will be able to put it in the description.
Yes, can I repeat the website?
The phone number, please.
Okay, +254 95 66 47. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, got that. So I'll be able to put it down in the description for all my viewers who will be interested in this technology, and they'll be able to reach you. And also, just for clarification, hydroponics can work anywhere, right? In any part of the country, or in any part of it can work anywhere, right? So if someone wants to put it in their village, in Nairobi, it is very possible.
Yes, as I've said, you have developed several systems based on the climate. Okay. It cannot work anywhere, and we don't use the electricity to cool or to heat the system. Okay. So we have used local materials. We have done it in a very hot areas, like in North Darfur, where the temperatures were 43 degrees centigrade. We have done in the very hot areas where actually the temperature was as low as 15 degrees centigrade. So we are able to make the system to work anywhere.
And also in the cold and wet agroecological zones, also it works. So maybe the people who come from the very cold areas, it will still work for them.
It will still work for them. We use some polythene so that at least we can bring the temperature up to around 20 degrees centigrade. Okay. In hot areas, try to reduce also with the hydro nets.
Okay, yeah, so hydroponics works in all the agroecological zones of the country. So it is very possible to have your hydroponic system in whichever part of the country that you're in.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's all on my end. Mine is just to really, really thank you very much for honoring the invite and joining. I know you're very busy, and I really appreciate it. I know my viewers will be able to learn a lot when it comes to this, and maybe you'll find some people who will be interested in this technology. I don't know if you have some parting shots that you'd like to tell my viewers.
Yes, of course. What I would say is our simplified hydroponics, it's actually working towards feeding the world because actually hydroponics, we find it actually doing well where the crops cannot be able to grow conventionally. Like now, we find in dry areas, that's where it's thriving well because crops needs more light.
Yes.
Light is plenty there. And in those dry areas, we're able to go even much higher vertically because the light is intense. So we have been able to improve the water quality, which is a challenge in dry areas. So you find that crops actually does very well. So it's I would urge everybody to try hydroponics in order to to have a food secure in our continent.
Exactly. We need to be food secured. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, thank you very much, Dr. Peter, for joining. I really appreciate. So I'm sure we will be able to meet soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.